as Pharaoh approached, the people of Israel looked up and panicked when they saw the Egyptians overtaking them. They cried out to the Lord, and they said to Moses,
"Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness?
Were there not enough graves in Egypt?
Yeah!
What have you done to
What
us?
have you done to us?
Why did you make us leave Egypt?
Why?
Didn't we tell you this would happen while we were still in Egypt?
We said, leave us alone!
Leave us alone! Let us be slaves to the Egyptians! It's better to be a slave in Egypt than a corpse in the wilderness!
Then Moses told the people, "Do not be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today. The Egyptians that you see today will never be seen again. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to get moving. Pick up your staff and raise your hand over the sea. Divide the water so the Israelites can walk through the middle of the sea on dry ground. I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they will charge in after the Israelites. My great glory will be displayed through Pharaoh and his troops, his chariots and his charioteers. When my glory is displayed through them, all Egypt will see my glory and know that I am the Lord." Then the angel of God, who had been leading the people of Israel, moved to the rear of the camp. The pillar of cloud also moved from the front and stood behind them. The cloud settled between the Egyptian and Israelite camps. As darkness fell, the cloud turned to fire, lighting up the night. But the Egyptians and Israelites did not approach each other all night. Then Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the Lord opened a path through the water with a strong east wind. The wind blew all that night, turning the seabed into dry land. So the people of Israel walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground with walls of water on each side. Then the Egyptians, all of Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and charioteers, chased the Israelites into the middle of the sea. But just before dawn, the Lord looked down on the Egyptian army from the pillar of fire and cloud, and he threw their forces into total confusion. He twisted their chariot wheels, making their chariots difficult to drive. Then the Egyptians shouted, "Let's get out of here, away from these Israelites. The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." When all of the Israelites had reached the other side, the Lord said to Moses, "Raise your hand over the sea again, and I will cover the Egyptians and their chariots and charioteers." So as the sun began to rise, Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the water rushed back into its usual place. The Egyptians tried to escape, but the Lord swept them into the sea. Of all the Egyptians who had chased the Israelites into the sea, not a single one survived. The Israelites saw the bodies of the Egyptians washed up on the seashore. When the people of Israel saw the mighty power the Lord had unleashed against the Egyptians, they were filled with awe before him. They put their faith in the Lord and in his servant Moses. Then Moses and the people of Israel sang this song to the Lord. "We will sing unto the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. He has hurled both horse and rider into the sea."